Hey guys, today we're going to discuss how digital changes the price discrimination narrative. Price discrimination is where instead of everybody paying the same price for the same product, different people pay different prices for the same product. Let's talk a bit about how it's happening today and how probably digital can change this narrative. So consider the regular demand curve where as per the quantity of supply available in the market, the price varies from time to time. So if the quantity of supply increases, the price decreases. So this is your demand curve, right? That determines at quantity Q what your price would be. So if the quantity was lesser than Q, the price would be much higher. Now when the consumer is paying price P for quantity Q, whatever is left over here, which is the willingness to pay of the customer, that is the customer could have paid more, could have gone up to this level, this entire area is called consumer surplus. And most pricing teams, most marketing teams try to see how they can consume more of this consumer surplus, because the customer is actually willing to pay this much more than P plus X for that particular product. Now for this reason, instead of having the same pricing for everybody, because everybody has different consumer surplus, there are three common types of price discrimination that a lot of companies use. The third degree price discrimination is where the discrimination of prices for a particular target segment. For example, our entertainment tickets could be or your movie tickets, or entertainment park tickets, amusement park tickets, etc. They have a discrimination based on the age of the person who's coming for that movie or for that amusement park, right? For example, the model of a particular phone, it would have different prices for different target segments, right? So if your target segment is in country A, where the PPP is X, and your target segment is in country B, where the PPP is X plus 2, you would have different pricing for the exact same phone with the exact same features. So this third degree price discrimination is mostly on a particular segment. The next degree of price discrimination is even within a segment, you discriminate the price a particular customer pays based on different other factors. Electricity tariffs are one of the easiest examples you could relate to for second degree price discrimination, where the same user for the same connection pays different amounts of bills depending on the extent of usage. So 0 to 100 kilowatt could cost you X per kilowatt, and 100 to 200 could probably cost you 1.2x per kilowatt, right? Similarly, if you are consuming electricity in the peak hours, it would cost you much more, whereas if you consume electricity in the off-peak hours, it would you would pay much lesser. If you've registered yourself as a residential consumer, your pricing would be different, and an industrial or a commercial consumer pricing would be different. So it's the same customer, same product, but depending on other parameters, you are paying a different price. Now the third or the first degree price discrimination, which is the most sought after, because that completely customizes the price for an individual customer. So that will give you more probability to consume most of this consumer surplus your customer might have. Now what does first degree price discrimination mean? It means that depending on different attributes that the customer has, you can charge different prices for the same product. And for that, you would of course need a lot of customer data, and which customer is going to reveal that much data about themselves. And because of this, first degree price discrimination has been very tough to achieve. A lot of companies do try and use innovative methods to do that. But today I was actually wondering how digital changes this, because wantedly or unwantedly in the digital world, we share a lot of information about ourselves, our spending patterns, our preferences, etc., which may give companies a good chance to aim at first degree discrimination. Let's talk about a few things that I find interesting. For example, you're searching for a product online. Let's take this example. You're searching for any product online, right? Now, based on the device that you're using, this could be a laptop, a phone, an iPad, or any other device that you're using, you could be discriminated in terms of price discrimination based on your device. Similarly, even if I identify the device that you're using, say it's a laptop, I would also like to see, for example, which brand of laptop you're using, right? That would also mean what is your consumer surplus, or what type of a customer are you in terms of your willingness to pay, right? Similarly, I would also like to see what OS you're using. Depending on that, I would also be able to make a guess about what type of a user you are. If you're an iOS user or an Android user or a Windows user or any other OS, what type of consumer pattern can I get out of this behavior of yours? Now, another thing could be your internet connection itself. Are you using a hotspot or a broadband? And if it's a broadband, is it a private broadband or it's a public broadband? Similarly, are you using mobile internet or any other source of internet, or wired internet or wireless internet, etc.? That might give me some idea about what could be your willingness to pay. Similarly, depending on your location of search, for example, if you're located in area A versus area B, can I make a guess about your income level or your expenditure level? Now, location can have many aspects to it. One thing could be that what type of people live in this location. Is it a posh area or a middle class area or an industrial area, residential area, etc.? And depending on that, I can probably discriminate you in terms of your willingness to pay for a particular product, right? Now, similarly, in location, I would also like to see if you are in an area that is traditionally a rental homes area, or is it a traditionally owned homes area, right? Now, when you have owned homes, I would like to discriminate you based on certain other things, whereas if you are in an area where you are on a rental, I might have a different guess for your willingness to pay. And same is the case with, again, discriminating based on location. There are some locations that house old rich people, like people who've been rich for 3 or 4 generations, and then there are newer locations that house the new rich, right? Maybe housing a younger crowd of new rich folks. That would also give me some idea about what could your willingness to pay be. Now, similarly, depending on your location and the type of residence you're having, I would also like to see at what height in the building are you browsing from. Because if you go to purchase a house in an apartment, you would see that the higher the apartment, the more you need to pay for the same house, because you will have these high-rise charges, etc. And I would also try and guess what type of a person would buy houses at a higher floor. For example, someone who also has a corner office view in office, so you also want to maintain the same view at home. Some rationale like this, which will help me again pin down to your willingness to pay. Now, what is the time at which you've started browsing? Is it the night time or the daytime or the afternoon time? So someone who's browsing at night time could probably be someone who has a regular job, and after they come back home they're browsing. Or for example, if someone is browsing on weekends, I can assume that this person has a regular day job. Or if someone is browsing in the afternoon, maybe I could say this person is either an entrepreneur or someone who does not have a regular day job, right? Depending on that, I would again like to segregate your willingness to pay. And then comes the consumption pattern. This is a little bit dicey to obtain from direct search data, but then these days people are exposing so much of their personal information online that maybe in future there would be this sort of algorithms that will help us understand the consumption pattern of a particular customer. And this could vary from whether this customer has been a long time user of a particular brand. Was it your brand or a competitor's brand? This information could be pulled out from their own social media profiles, based on the photographs they're updating, based on the tags they're using, based on, for example, the videos they're updating, etc. And you would know whether this customer actually has been consuming this product by your company or your competitors. Similarly, you would also come to know their purchase journey. For example, if they've searched for this product on a browser as of today, based on their social media profiles, you probably will know whether they've been searching for this product for a long period of time and today they have searched for this product, or this is the first time they're searching for this product. You would also know their purchase pattern as to what type of a purchase pattern this person is maintaining. does this person get attracted to a particular product the first time they search? So have they made statements like, I saw this, I bought this, or do they have a long purchase cycle where they research about a product, use it for a long time, and then for example take samples, use it, and then go ahead and buy the full product? And what type of loyalty do they display? Do they display this behavior of changing between brands, or do they remain loyal to a brand for a long period of time? And these are softer aspects that you will not know directly from, say, device, OS, internet, etc. Are direct information that you probably can get through the app or through the browser that this person is using to search for the product. But these are softer aspects that would come from collecting this little bit of data this person is putting on the net day in, day out in different platforms, and if that is consolidated at one particular place, then it would be easy to mine this person's purchase pattern, purchase journey, consumption pattern, etc. And depending on that, then you would easily be able to do first degree discrimination, because think of the plethora of combinations you would get based on this person's profile, right? The devices, the internet, the time patterns, etc. And I feel that this would be very interesting to monitor going forward, as to say 10 years down the line, would companies actually start doing this? Some of these things like location, they do track your location, but will the other softer aspects that I mentioned here also come into picture, and will we really see first degree discrimination being proliferated in the market for all of us, right? We're all familiar with third degree and second degree. I would really be interested in how first degree discrimination will come into play in the future.